So I hear some of you out there asking, what the hell was that? Those were a couple of Scottish fiddle tunes. The first is a tune, it's actually a song originally by a band called Dive, which is spelled Daimh, because it's Scots Gaelic. It's called Dhannsamaid Le Ailean. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. And I know it because some friends of mine, or let me put it this way, I am fortunate to be friends with a truly brilliant band called Scottish Fish. It's a 5-member band. They're 5 brilliantly talented young women, and they've been playing together for over a decade now. So they have that magical chemistry that you can only get playing with somebody for that long. You can't fake that with music, and that's why every time I go to see them, it's always so incredible because they have this synchronicity that not you don't hear much in live music these days because you don't have that sort of consistency, and the fact that they're all brilliant players in their own right helps. But they arranged that first tune that way. The dive recording is a bit faster. It has words, but they arranged it in that sort of beautiful waltz ballad form for a set of theirs called New Set that is no longer new, but it was called New Set when they came up with it, and so it's just called New Set. And I have been promised it will be on their next album, so keep an eye out for that. But I fell in love with that tune the first time I heard it. There's something so hauntingly beautiful about it, and there's a moment where the chord changes. For those of you who know music, in the B part, you got these, F to C, F to G. But the first time, it's like a couple of times through the form, the first time it replaces one of the F chords, their arrangement, with a D chord. Gives me chills every time, and I've been hearing them play it for like a year and a half now. So, and the second tune is another Scottish fiddle tune that I learned at the Boston State's Fiddle Camp, which I don't play fiddle myself, but I learned the tunes on whistle and pipes and piano and guitar and whatever I can manage. And that was one that just caught my ear. Actually, the reason I know Scottish Fish, I met their members at this fiddle camp. So I figured it, kind of connects the two together. But the second tune is called I Won't Do the Work. And it also has a lyrical version of it called Wha'll Be King But Charlie, which was a song of praise to Charles Edward Stuart when he became King of Scotland, and let's just say regrets were had about all the praise that he received upon his ascension. But that's another story for another day. And so the reason I wanted to do that, in addition to just loving both of those tunes, is it sets up the story for what I'm about to do next, because I'm going to do something pretty special here for you. I was inspired to do this because I saw Scottish Fish the other day at Club Passim, where they play a lot, and they were astounding as always. So I wanted to do something to sort of give them a shout-out and tell people to look them up and listen to them. They're about to go on their first European tour. So if you live in France, Italy, or Spain, look them up and go see them. So I've known them, most of the members, for almost a couple of years at this point, and I follow their tour vlogs. And there was one where they had sort of randomly discovered on a playlist an Andean folk song that they knew the title is Tema de Maimara. But when I heard it, I'm like, oh my God, I know this. This is a version of Ojos Azules, which I know because, as some of you out there watching may know, and some of you may not, I performed with a Peruvian folk band for about 4 years when I was a kid, which is a long story in itself. Suffice it to say, I heard their CD, and I loved their music so much, and I started going to see them as they played around New England, and they started recognizing me, and I bought a cheap little souvenir pan flute at their merch table and taught myself to play their songs. And rather than doing what they had any right to do, which say, that's nice, kid, run along, the members of the band thought it was so cool that this geeky, buck-toothed little white kid was so enamored with their sound and their music that I was learning all these songs. And so as I got to know the members of the band, they eventually one day called my home and said, we're doing a show for families at the Rhode Island School of Design as like a music around the world showcase. Would Seth like to perform with us? I was 9 years old at the time. I said yes. Yes, I would very much like to perform with you. And my parents told me later they thought it was a situation where that like it was just for show and that my mic would be turned off. But not only was my microphone on, I was given specific parts to play and harmonies. So they really trusted me to do my part to make their music come alive for the audience. And that is something that I will truly eternally be grateful for. And I love them all dearly for that. But anyway, so this is a song, Ojos Azules was a song that Inca San, the band, played from time to time, and so I knew it. And so to see this vlog where my friends in Scottish Fish sort of became obsessed with this song and were just playing it on repeat in the van on their tour, I was like, this is unbelievable. This is so cool. And so I knew I was going to see them at Boston State's Fiddle Camp last year. And so unbeknownst to them, I brought my siku, or pan flute, with me to the camp. And when I managed to say, hey, do you all have a minute? I have a little surprise for you. And when I took the pan flute out of the bag and I saw the looks on their faces and they realized what I was about to do, it was one of the most joyous moments in my life, because it's rare that I can play a Peruvian folk song and people will know what I'm doing. So I played it for them, and they really enjoyed it, and it's sort of become a running joke now with all of us. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool for me to do that one in one of my live streams? But if I'm doing it in a live stream, I should really go all the way with it. And so what I'm going to attempt to do, and I've been practicing for the past few days, is to play on piano and siku and sing the full version of the song Ojos Azules, also known as Tema de Maimara. Ojos Azules means blue eyes. Tema de Maimara is the theme of Maimara. So wish me luck. Ojos azules, no llores, no llores de ti enamores. Ojos azules, no llores, no llores de ti enamores. Llorarás cuando me vaya, cuando remedio See, the thing that makes that so hard to do is on a siku, the higher notes are to your left. My left, stage left. And on the piano, the higher notes are to the right, stage right. So I have to really split my brain and remember which instrument is going which way.